Alrighty guys, it is February of 2016, which means it's over. We're done with predictions for 2016, but now we gotta move on to 2017. So, let's start with Kings Dominion Coaster predictions. So, I'm going out on a limb and saying that it is the year of the Mid-Atlantic, where Six Flags America, Kings Dominion, and Busch Gardens could be getting a roller coaster in 2017. So, I'll be doing coaster predictions for those three parks, and I'll be doing more, don't worry, because I know other parks will be getting coasters in 2017. But let's start with my home Cedar Fair Park, Kings Dominion. It's been relentless. I just been wanting a coaster to come to this park. I wanted a coaster. I predicted a coaster would come in 2015. That didn't happen. I decided, okay, 2016. That has to be the year. Nope. So I guess third time's a charm. We're gonna try 2017. Hopefully they'll add a roller coaster and they will not be neglected this time. So what could they get? Before we start, let's look at what they have, because looking at what they have, we can see where their gaps are and where we can fill that and make their lineup better. So, of course, we'll start now with the 4 wooden roller coasters, including a junior wooden coaster, which is Woodstock Express. They have 2 Intamin roller coasters. One's a launch inverted roller coaster, and one's a Giga. They have a B&M floorless coaster, 2 Mack rides coasters, one's bobsled, Wild Mouse. They're both family roller coasters. 2 Premier Rides launched roller coasters, one Spaghetti Bowl, and one's just a regular family launched. They have a kiddie coaster and an aerodynamics custom looping coaster. Overall, that's about 13 roller coasters. So that is their lineup. Now, let's see what we can do to make that lineup better. And these 2 manufacturers that I'm about to talk about are kind of sad and depressing because I've been a rebel. I've been a rebel. I've been saying, no, Cedar Fair has to be still lined with Intamin. I was one of those naysayers that say they still have to be with Intamin. They could still add a roller coaster from Intamin. That's the sad thing, is I finally admit it. There's just no way that we'll be seeing an Intamin roller coaster coming to a park. Kings Dominion loves Intamin, but in order for Kings Dominion to get a roller coaster, they have to get it approved by Cedar Fair. And let's face it, Cedar Fair is not going to approve anything by Intamin, which sucks. So I just really don't see an Intamin roller coaster likewise being a Blitz, because they already have an Intimidator 305, which is a large scale version of a Blitz coaster. So Maverick is going to stay the original Blitz coaster in the United States, so that's the unfortunate part. And another unfortunate part is that there's no way Cedar Fair is going to be doing anything with RMC. It sucks. They already have GCI. They're just going to stay with GCI. Everybody's been saying, well, they could be doing something to Mean Streak, but, I mean, think about it. Cedar Fair does not want to do anything with RMC. So, besides, they would Iron Horse treatment Mean Streak first before doing anything with Hurler. I just chose Hurler because, well, they could do it. Hurler needs it would be really cool if Hurler could do some treatment because Hurler needs it. But hearing from Kings Dominion authorities, they're just going to probably do some retracking with Hurler because they know that it is getting really rough. So I guess some retracking would be really good for that roller coaster. But seeing it turn into an RMC is just very unlikely. But they do have GCI, so they could add a GCI wooden roller coaster. Hold up, remember what I said earlier, what they have. They have 4 wooden roller coasters, and I don't think they're going to add a 5th. So if they do add a wooden coaster, one of them has to go. And the only one that could go is Hurler, because it is under real estate, and it's just not as good as the other 3. So, unfortunately, that is still an unlikely possibility of that happening. Moving on, so Cedar Fair loves B&M. They are B&M fanatics. They've been adding B&Ms non-stop. We got one in 2015, they're getting one in 2016. They got one in 2014 and one in 2013. So we know they're going to be adding one in 2017, and I'm making a huge limb that it could be a B&M Flyer. What's funny is that Cedar Fair loves B&M, but they have not added a B&M Flyer from B&M, but they have Vekoma Flying Dutchmans. I just find that funny that they have Vekoma, I find it ironic that they don't have B&M Flyers, but they have Vekoma Flying Dutchmans, and one of them is horrible. You can already predict what that one, or you can already tell which one that is, but it'd be really cool. Now, a B&M Flyer has been added in the U.S. since SeaWorld Orlando's Manta in 2009, but B&M just added or manufactured a flying coaster that is at Nagashima Spa Land, and that opened last year, so we do know that B&M is still making these awesome B&M Flyers, so it is very possible to see one of these. Moving on, I'm going out on a limb here and saying that we could get a Mack Rides launched family roller coaster. Now, I know what you're saying. They already have a family roller coaster. They have Backlot Stunt Coaster. It's launched. Why would they need another one? They could add another one. I mean, hey, I'm just going out on a limb. That's what's cool about these predictions. There could be some parts where we're going out on a limb, and they could do that. I mean, Cedar Fair loves Mack Rides for their family roller coasters, and Manta's the only one of its kind, and Cedar Fair is probably going to eventually add a Mack Rides launch coaster. The last thing that Mack Rides added from Cedar Fair was a Wild Mouse coaster at Knott's Berry Farm. I'm not sure if that was relocated. I'm just guessing that is a new Wild Mouse roller coaster. And also, Kings Dominion has 2 Mack Rides. I wouldn't mind seeing another Mack Rides at this park. Plus, these launch coasters are fun. They're not boring, so it wouldn't be one of those family coasters that would not be a bad fit. This would be a good fit for Kings Dominion. That would give them the most launch coasters than any other park in the world and make them the launch capital of the world. And plus, they'll have a nice amount of family roller coasters and 2 launch family roller coasters. Heck, they can make this one a little bit faster by making it 50 miles per hour instead of 40 miles per hour. But that would be pushing the family coaster limits. Okay, so now we're in the top 2. The first one is a B&M Winged Coaster. Now, a lot of you are going to be saying, because you guys watched my 2016 coaster prediction, saying, hold up, you said that there'd be no way that a B&M Winged Coaster could come to any other Cedar Fair park. And that was because of the 2013, talking to Matt Weeman, and he was saying that they have no plans to build a wing coaster in the upcoming future. That was 2013. This is for 2017. That means 4 years have passed since 2013, and they could have said, okay, like in 2014, they could have said, you know what? Let's see. Do you think we should add a new B&M roller coaster to the park? Yeah, let's do it at a park that hasn't gotten one in a while, and is lacking in B&M roller coasters. One of them is Kings Dominion. Although you could say, oh well, what about Valley Fair, Michigan's Adventure, Dorney Park? I mean, those parks need B&M coasters too, but I think it would be more likely to see one come to Kings Dominion. It would be really fun to see a B&M Wing coaster come to Kings Dominion. It'd be really nice. And what they could do is they can make it 200 feet tall, because coming to the next one. Oh, and first of all, before I move on, because you already probably know what our last one is, but it would not be launched. I don't think Cedar Fair is at that point to build a launched B&M coaster. They probably would, but I don't think for B&M Wing Coaster. Maybe for just a normal sit-down roller coaster or a floorless coaster. But just launch-wise, I think it's just going to be a normal chain lift and do the awesome flip you upside down, and then do the kind of almost like a pretzel, I'd say, to have the 2 inversions type element to it. So that's all I see. So anyway, moving on. I think a hyper coaster is very likely to come to this park. They are missing a 200-foot tall roller coaster, and that's what I'm saying. They can make the B&M Wing Coaster 200 foot tall, but then that would be overdoing Gatekeeper, and I don't think Cedar Fair wants to outshine Gatekeeper. Not yet, anyway. They're going to wait a long time before outshining Gatekeeper, but if they want to add a B&M Wing Coaster, it's going to be smaller than Gatekeeper, and that will be sad. So let's just go with a B&M Hyper Coaster, because they don't have anything in the 200-foot tall range. They have the 300-foot tall Giga, but the next thing would be the Dominator at 161 feet tall. And look at all these other parks. Carowinds has a 300-foot tall roller coaster and a 200-foot tall roller coaster. Cedar Point has a 400-foot tall roller coaster, 300-foot tall roller coaster, and a 200-foot tall roller coaster. Canada's Wonderland has a 300-foot tall roller coaster and a 200-foot tall roller coaster. So Kings Dominion should be the next one to get a 200-foot tall roller coaster. It has the nice, and it will be one of those coasters that will be all about the airtime. Rebel Yell's the only true airtime extreme roller coaster, besides maybe Grizzly, arguably. So it could happen. I would really love to see an out and back B&M Hyper come to my home Cedar Fair Park. So that is the coaster predictions, but where could it go is the big question. Well, I took some pictures from Google Earth, and this is where I drew outline of where the coaster could go. The blue is where it could go. It's not the exact layout, but of course they would have to redo it. Cedar Fair loves putting coasters above the front entrance, so why not Kings Dominion? It would be really cool if Kings Dominion could do it. Of course, they would have to move like maybe the tickets booth or the definitely the season pass booth, and so that the coaster could go there. Maybe move that shopping store that is right next to the lockers area, but I can see it going behind, and maybe having to move some of the employee buildings a little bit further back. But I could see one just out and back into the parking lot, do a twist, go over the front entrance with either an airtime hill or a bank turn, whatever, and do one of those cool turnarounds and just continue back, but be a lot about the airtime. And here's a zoomed out version. So the green arrow is where the entrance could go. The red arrow is the exit. And then the orange part is the station, and then the yellow part is the queue line. Now that would mean, I don't think they would take down the action theater, but they would have to take down Rita's ice cream and some of the paint t-shirts area, just so they can add the entrance and the exit. But I don't, or maybe because they'll have the exit right by the restrooms. So of course, if you're done, if you need to use the restroom, go ahead. And then the entrance would be further down, just before you enter into the Old Virginian area. Because they have one coaster in the International Street, why not add another one? Kind of expand International Street a little bit. But there's two other places we could talk about. Another one is behind Intimidator 305. They have a lot of space back there, and the purple is where they could add a entrance to that other section, and kind of have like Intimidator 305, kind of have a plaza area for the roller coaster. Once again, the yellow is the queue line, and the orange is the station, and the blue is where they could add the roller coaster. As Hyper Coaster wise, maybe B&M, not really, but I know Hyper Coaster wise, they could have the coaster like that. All these predictions are what they could do for a Hyper Coaster, because that's what I think could be happening, and that's another example. The final one is the one that I've been predicting for a long time, and a lot of people have been predicting it too. This is behind the Hurler. I don't think they'll remove the Hurler, but what they could do is the purple part would be the new entrance to Soak City. Having two entrances to Soak City. If you know King's Dominion, they only have one. It's in the middle of the park. But what if you're like by Hurler? There's no really big entrance to get from the park to the south side of the park without getting to the north side of the park. So why not add an entrance that leads directly to the south side of the water park? Now the yellow, of course, the queue line, and the orange is the station. They could put the entrance anywhere. But I think what would be cool, because they have that extra workstation where they add track, it'd be easier to put a hyper coaster behind that. So they have the station go over the road, and then have it drop and kind of level out and be a true out and back airtime filled roller coaster, and then come straight back. So that is my coaster predictions. If you have any coaster predictions that I missed, leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more coaster predictions like this. Thank y'all for watching, and as always, roller coaster fanatics, keep coasting.